Hello everyone, welcome back to our Take 10 series. We're really pleased this week to be welcoming Aimee Jakes. So Aimee is a community and shopping editor over on Heat and Closer magazine online. So we're really lucky to be able to pick her brains. She's actually just requested, so let's get her in. So we're going to pick her brains on kind of pitching techniques, and a little bit about digital content, especially as kind of digital is rising even more. Here she is.
Hello. Hi Sophie, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. How are you doing? Oh,
Good,
I've missed you
good.
so much. I
I
guess
love the cup you've
coronavirus.
got.
Pardon?
I love your cuppa.
I've got my tea. I've got this very great grey mug. Hashtag not spawn. But yeah, I'm excited for our catch up and talk things journalism.
Awesome. So we met probably around, I don't know, was it about a year or 2 years ago now?
Yeah, I think it was over a year ago.
Yeah, and you at the
When
time were working at Mother and Baby, weren't you?
Yeah, so completely different job now, though the same company, which is, you know, I like to stay at Bauer where I can.
Staying loyal.
Yeah, staying loyal. But yeah, so I'm now the shopping and community editor for Heat and Closer, which is so much fun. I get to
Yeah.
write about things that I really care about. And yeah, it is super interesting.
So do
But
you kind of write across kind of fashion and beauty, or is it just literally a bit of everything?
So I like manage and write across the fashion, fitness, and beauty section for Heat and Closer. Only on online, of course, but yeah, it's a very kind of busy job,
Yeah,
lots
a
to
lot.
cover, which is fun. And obviously, I started my role kind of a month before coronavirus and before kind of the lockdown happened. So kind of the expectations for the role and kind of what I was originally going to be covering changed massively
Yeah.
during that time. It kind of was like what to wear on a night out was replaced with best loungewear sets and what to do when you're staying in all day. So yeah, it was really weird, but interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was talking about how the digital space, it was popular anyway, getting popular, but even more so after what has happened. Like a lot of, print titles which were struggling are now just going purely online. So
Oh yeah.
so the change of content has been massive. So when you kind of started in maybe like Feb time, like you
Yeah,
say, it was kind of night out and things like that. Were you
best eyelashes. Yeah,
exactly? So what
no one
kind,
needs
how,
eyelashes anymore.
yeah. So what kind of content was it? Did it change from things like that and then to kind of expert comment, or what was the biggest noticeable change for you?
Um, I guess the biggest change was kind of our topic areas. Before we did a lot of events focused fashion. So we did a lot of kind of what to wear to Ibiza, best wedding guest dresses, and then it kind of turned into best loungewear sets, kind of how to
Yeah.
occupy yourself at home. It was really interesting. The first week of lockdown, we all had to kind of sit down and kind of work out during this pandemic kind of what our audience wanted from us, kind of where they were shopping, what they were buying. And it was, yeah, it was quite difficult at first to navigate because obviously
Mm.
we've never had a pandemic, at least not in our lifetimes, to kind of go by. And I guess we didn't really know kind of how long this would last and kind of what the lasting implications were of coronavirus. So yeah, it was really difficult and we just had to kind of really ramp up our communication with each other and just kind of keep our like yeah, just keep out the kind of any like weird changes.
Yeah, it's
Thankfully
kind of
we
like
kind of
riding the wave, isn't it?
riding the wave completely, and kind of what we deemed kind of important to write about would change on a weekly basis. I mean, can you remember that time at the beginning of the pandemic where no one can get loo roll, for example? It
Yeah.
feels like miles away now. And I remember like Tiger King being really popular at the beginning of lockdown, and that seems miles away as well.
Yeah.
I guess our role as a celebrity brand, primarily a celebrity brand, is kind of to offer distraction and kind of light relief to people that isn't like the big kind of scary headlines. So it
Exactly.
was difficult on kind of how to play that during something like coronavirus, where a lot of people kind of just wanted the hard news. So obviously, yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah,
But
and obviously now we're kind of coming out the other side, aren't we? I mean, I see a light at the end of the tunnel anyway. So what's content like for you now? What type of things are you writing about?
So things have resumed slightly back to normal. Kind of celebrities and whatnot are doing things again, which is great news for us as a celebrity publication. We are embracing kind of a new normal in fashion and beauty. So we're kind of realizing that a lot more people are staying at home. So kind of, again, just a lot more kind of comfy clothes, say, than like the clubbing outfits and that kind of thing. But yeah, also, again, like we want to be that light relief for our audience as well, because I mean 2020 has been a shocker. So we kind of want to, I don't know about you, but I feel like every occasion at the moment I want to wear like a big dress, or I want to kind of go really OTT, because I'm so sick of wearing joggers every day. And I mean, my Instagram feed honestly just needs some life. So I'm just feel like I'm kind of, when I am going out, I want it to be over the top. I want to spend more time and money doing those things. So yeah, like things like statement dresses that were made for the gram, for example, we're doing like a lot more of that content as well, to kind of, light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, being kind of a digital journalist, you are quite reactive, but do you plan ahead? Do you have kind of content plans going forward to Christmas, for example, or does it kind of happen more off the cuff type of stuff?
Good question. So we are very reactive, and we're always kind of, as a celebrity and news publication, we're always kind of getting news out quickly. And sometimes if it's a particularly breaking story, for example, we can get it out and social within the hour. But of course, we also we do work really hard with our SEO team as well, to create kind of content plans on a weekly and monthly basis. And things like Christmas and Black Friday, for example, we will spend time really fun events. Like I've just been doing some Christmas content today, for example. So yeah, those big kind of occasions that we feel like can really win, or just are really universally popular, like Christmas, that's kind of where we spend a lot more time kind of working on that. So a bit of both, really.
Which is that's good. So your inbox would probably stress me out. You've probably got so many emails, so many pictures. How do you choose what to write about? I mean, how?
I know I keep banging on about this, but we are a celebrity kind of focused, both brands are celebrity focused. So in our minds, we have kind of the set people that we would write about, based on brand values, based on who does well for us in terms of engagement and click-throughs, and also to kind of like align with our print editions. And those kind of key celebrities always change as well, depending on like kind of TV shows and just kind of who's doing what at what time. But so if any of our kind of like key celebrities, which are normally mostly people from Love Island, if they're doing something kind of, if they've revealed a beauty hack, or they're wearing something really exciting from ASOS or that kind of thing, that's something that would be way more inclined to cover.
Okay.
In terms of fashion and beauty content. And also we geek out about data all the time, so we're always kind of looking to see what content does well, and if a particular article resonates well with our audience, then we'll look to kind of recreate that where we can. So if we're like, how to kind of create your own spa at home, for example, is doing really well, what other kind of feature ideas can we do around that? So yeah, always like looking to data. But generally, like TV shows, we use our calendar. Is it World Prosecco Day? Is it Black Friday? Is it kind of like big societal moods, kind of instinct, kind of what kind of grabs us personally? So if I think something's like, wow, I didn't know that's a good story, or that's actually really interesting, then that's something that I feel like our audience would probably find interesting too.
Yeah.
There are lots
So
of
I'm
things.
assuming you probably work quite closely with the print team as well. But would you say
Yes.
there's like kind of a difference between pitching stories to digital guys and then pitching stories to the print side?
Yes, definitely. There obviously is a lot of crossover, but I guess firstly with online, we can turn over content really, really quickly. So for the magazine, if it's something particularly newsy or a launch happening this week, then it might be a little bit too late for print.
Mm-hmm.
Also online, I feel like people want kind of, when we're writing an article for online, we're having like one kind of like big hook to get that person to click.
Okay.
Where in print it's kind of, you've already bought the magazine, it can be a lot more visual, it can be a lot more kind of loose in kind of what the main hook is. It can be a big topic on kind of a double page spread. I mean, 95% of my experience is online, so I'm probably not the best person to talk to print wise, but yeah, online we kind of want that main hook. Why is that person going to click onto your article?
Okay.
So yeah, we kind of like doing articles on kind of like one best-selling product from ASOS that's only £10, that kind of, to draw people in, rather than they always tend to do better for us than the kind of like the big juicy roundups, really.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of leads us into like this bit of a quick fire type of thing.
Brilliant.
So what would be your top 3 tips for any PRs wanting to pitch their product clients to you? So that's 3 tips.
Okay, so firstly, to introduce yourself. It's so hard during coronavirus and during this kind of weird time. Like, for example, I'm not in the office at the moment, and might not be for the foreseeable. We honestly just don't know.
No, yeah.
So it is harder to take people out for coffee and for breakfast, kind of like it was pre-corona.
Mm-hmm.
But even just like virtual desk sides, or just like a really chatty, friendly email explaining who you are and kind of what you're about and what the brands you are kind of are. And that's just a really nice email, because as we said earlier, like most journalists get so many emails and we just don't have time physically to reply to them all, let alone read them all and take them all in. So if it's kind of like a blanket press release from someone I don't know their PR company, I'm just not going to have time to reply or to take it in. So yeah, that's kind of my first tip.
Yeah.
My second tip would be to avoid kind of like really big, like clunky WeTransfer links or that kind of thing. Sometimes it can be really difficult to kind of try and find the press release, try and find the images. And again, if I'm trying to make a quick decision on whether it's a story for us, I don't have time to like download big chunky files that just take up so much room. So I think just like good enough images and kind of attach those to the original email. Number 3, do I have another tip? I guess kind of do your homework on what we write about. So a lot of the times the pitch can just seem like something we would never cover, celebrities that we'd never be interested in. The price point might be way too high, or it's just we've never covered, say, I can't think of a really rogue example, but you know, we've literally never covered it before in our lives. We're not going to cover it now. It's just so off topic. And then also I've got a 4th tip.
Go for it.
I'm an overachiever. Don't be scared to send a follow-up email, because again, with that whole inbox issue, like sometimes emails will just slip by and it might be a really good fit for us, but I just haven't seen it. So don't be scared to kind of follow up with an email, or even 2, but just be wary of how much space you're leaving in between. If it's kind of in the same day, it can seem a bit like too much, you know. So don't be scared to send up a follow-up email, because there have been so many times where I've been like, that was a really good story, but I completely missed that.
Your brain's somewhere else and you're like, I'll come back to that later. It's so easy to forget, isn't it?
Completely. And just as I said, like our inbox is just so busy. So don't be scared to kind of send that follow-up email.
Great. So that was do your research,
Do your
personalize
research.
your emails,
Yeah.
set it up nicely with no
Yeah.
chunky WeTransfer links. So
Yeah.
basically, that is the way that we can get products on Closer and Heat magazine.
Exactly. A friendly email, honestly, like you'd be surprised like how far and in between those are. Just introducing yourself and what you're about, and even suggesting like a virtual desk side or a coffee if you're kind of back in the office is just such a nice touch, and you just get to really kind of know what that person is about and that kind of thing. So definitely recommend that.
Lovely. Well, thanks so much for joining us,
Thank you so much for
Aimee.
having me. It's been so much
nice
fun.
to see your face.
I feel like I'm very shiny today, but you know, we're just going to go with it.
You look very glowy and healthy.
Thank you so much. So do you. And can't wait to see you soon.
Yeah, take care. Well, thanks everyone. Join us again next Thursday. And yeah, we'll see you all soon. Thanks, Aimee.
See you soon. Bye. Do I hang up?